As we have read various stories over the semester, one stuck out in my mind. It was Young Goodman Brown, written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. He was born in 1804 in Salem, Massachusetts, famous for its witch trials. He had an ancestor named John Hawthorne, who was the only judge involved in the Salem witch trials who never repented for the condemnations he brought upon innocent people. After learning of his heritage, Nathaniel changed his last name by adding a W in order to bury his relation to John Hawthorne that is now widely known as Hawthorne. While living in Salem, Nathaniel often visited his cousin, Susanna Ingersoll, at her now famous waterfront home on Turner Street. Susanna's description of the house's appearance in earlier days gave Hawthorne the title for his famous novel, The House of the Seven Gables. Another work by Hawthorne would be a novel titled Fanshawe, which was his first work in 1828. He later tried to suppress it, feeling it was not equal to the standard of his later work. I can really relate to Hawthorne on this level, because as I look back on some sketches I had done years ago, I am disappointed in the workmanship that I lacked and have now gained since then. However, I think it is an important part of his past that shows how far he has come. Later, when Hawthorne is dismissed from his job in the Salem Custom House in a political shakeup, he is furious and declares, "I detest this town so much that I hate to go out into the streets or to have people see me." He begins work on a novel about adultery and hypocrisy in Salem and eventually produces The Scarlet Letter. Although Young Goodman Brown was one of Hawthorne's shorter stories, it was certainly not less significant. In the beginning of this story, young Goodman Brown is held up by his wife, Faith, before he sets off on a journey. However, once he wakes up in the forest and heads back to town, he is not the same person who left that night. Brown believes he witnessed the sinful lives of the people he thought to be the most upright, and in turn believes them to all be hypocrites. The symbolism in this narrative is extremely powerful. In the end, I feel like it was an analogy for when Eve took a bite of the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden and was then aware of both her and Adam's sinful nature and was thus thrown into a sinful lifestyle. Overall, Hawthorne's themes often center on the inherent evil and sin of humanity, and his works often have moral messages than deep psychological complexity. This makes me wonder if his time spent in Salem and his heritage had him dwelling upon the sinful nature of the Salem witch trials. Hawthorne had an equally profound effect on his hometown as it had on his writings. Crafted in bronze, this statue was built to honor the town's local celebrity and is currently located on Washington Street in Salem.